Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Not sure when you're watching this video. So, whichever time of day you're watching the video, welcome back. All right, ready to get started? Ready to learn a new science word? And I bet you already know this one. I got with Mr. Tomlinson, your STEAM teacher, and I asked him to get me a list of words that he thought that you guys should know. So he compiled a list, and I am very, very grateful for that. So thank you to Mr. Tomlinson, and I make sure that you tell him thank you for getting these words together for us, okay? And he also provided me a definition, the one that he would like for you to know, okay? So without further ado, let's get started. First word, the vocabulary word for this week is precipitation. 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 And precipitation, let's talk about how many syllables is that? That's a huge word, isn't it? That could be a word like in a spelling bee or something. There's that upside down E, tation. T-I-O-N is shun, okay? So, 5 syllables. Pretty big word. But if you break it down, then it's not so difficult to spell. It is a noun, okay? Part of speech is a noun, which is a person, place, or thing. And in this case, it is a what? Thing, okay? Dictionary.com. I have a couple of, I have a dictionary.com definition, I have a Merriam-Webster.com definition, and I have a Mr. Tomlinson definition. Okay, so let's get started. The dictionary.com, following products of condensation in the atmosphere as rain, snow, or hail. Merriam-Webster.com is a deposit on the earth of hail, mist, rain, sleet, or snow. Mr. Tomlinson's definition that he gave me is any form of water falling from the atmosphere to the surface of the earth. So his is kind of like what Ms. Bird's been trying to do, is a little easier words to describe the more complicated and more technical definition that you would find in a dictionary, either in a book, okay, a hard copy, or if you found it online. But I go back and forth between dictionary.com and Merriam-Webster.com because I look at different things, and so whenever I'm doing my research, I use both of those. So, following products of condensation in the atmosphere. That's from dictionary.com. Those products, okay, can be what? Hail, mist, rain, sleet, or snow. Mr. Tomlinson said just any form of water. Or aren't those forms of water? Yes, they are. So, let's look at some synonyms, but in this case, I only had one synonym, and it was the word moisture, okay? Or like, there was actually I saw the word wetness, and both of those could be synonyms. But instead of listing a whole bunch of synonyms, I listed like different forms of precipitation. And drizzle is one of them. Well, there is the word wetness, rain, hail, sleet, or snow. So all of those are in various forms of water, depending on what? Depending on what's the air temperature and the atmosphere, the temperature of the atmosphere, whenever that does fall from the sky or fall from a cloud, okay? The antonyms, words that mean the opposite of our vocabulary word. I have dryness and drought. So precipitation, if you have precipitation, which means a form of water falling, the opposite of that is the absence of water falling, right? Which means you could have a drought and you have dryness. All right, here's our pictures. There was another one that I really liked, and it would not allow me to copy it. So that was the next best thing. Precipitation, there it is again, a form of water, rain, snow, sleet, hail, that falls to the earth's surface. And this is not all of them, because there was one, I like the word drizzle because that's like a light rain, mist. What kind of precipitation did we have this afternoon at the buses when we were loading the buses. Was that like a regular rain? No, it was like a mist. And I even made the comment to two other teachers. I said, if it was really cold, that would be some snow or that would be some sleet coming down, because it was a light mist. But it was, if you stood in it long enough, you would get wet. So here's rain, a little bit heavier drops, snow, snowflakes, snow crystals. Sleet is frozen rain, and hail, that's like rocks, okay? And it's where the rain has crystallized, and it's like mixed with particles and mixed with dirt and everything, and it forms like a ball. And depending on how long it's been in the atmosphere, depends on or tells you how big that'll be when it gets to Earth, okay? Because so there's very small little pebble-sized hailstones, and then there's some that are just like enormous, okay? So those are kind of the four common, but we did mention, there was another one that I listed. What was it? Mist. Mist was the one. The mist is not on here. And mist is the one that I said that we had at the bus ramp this afternoon. I think that would be considered a mist. You know how you have a spray bottle and it has spray on that bottle. When you turn the dial, it says spray. Well, the spray is going to push the liquid out in a little bit heavier, in a heavier way, or a heavier load, okay? That's not the best way of saying it, but heavy, more at one time, okay? A mist is going to be a lot lighter, and that's exactly what we experienced this afternoon when we were at the buses. Here's another picture of precipitation. Precipitation occurs when so much water has condensed that the air cannot hold it anymore, okay? Which is like up in those clouds that I mentioned. The cloud gets heavier and water falls back in the form of rain, snow, sleet, or hail. So any one of these would be considered precipitation. Let's see. One more time. Here's this picture. I think this is the best representation. And I do want to show you, whenever we put all of these squares together, we're making a vocabulary visual or a word window. And so here's our word part of speech, which is a noun. Here's our pronunciation, which is 5 syllables. The definitions over here, and I put 3 different ones. And I like to do that because when you read one and then you read another, there might be something included in that first one that's not in the second one, and vice versa. So that's why Ms. Bird looks at a couple of different definitions in a couple of different places. Don't ever just use one source if you're able to. Use another one. Always try to use another source if you have one available for you. And like I said, and then another source was Mr. Tomlinson. So I have 3 sources, 3 different definitions of precipitation. But they all basically mean about the same thing, which is this, water coming down from a cloud from the atmosphere. And it is in different forms, okay? Depending on how much heat or coolness is in the air. And that's what our sentence right here says. Precipitation comes in many forms depending on the temperature of the atmosphere. So rain, you can have rain in cold and warm weather. Snow is going to be in what kind of weather? Cold, okay? The atmosphere is going to be cold. Sleet, also cold. Hail, you can have it in both cool weather and warm weather. So, all right, that's our word for this week, precipitation. If you see Miss Dorothy or myself around, tell us what is the word of the week. And I'm also going to ask you, tell me, what is this right here? What am I wearing? What do I call it? And why am I wearing it? You've got to be able to tell me both things. I'll see if you can remember. So that means you may have to go back and go watch my first video, because that's whenever I talk about it, if you don't remember. So a question that I want you to know the answer for. What is this called? Okay, what do I call it? Why am I wearing it? And I also, most importantly, want to hear your answers about what is precipitation. Use it in a sentence. You can be able to tell me some of the forms of participation. Precipitation. Oh my gosh, this has been a long day. Miss Bird needs to go home. Okay? But without further ado, it is time for us to end, and I hope that you guys have an extraordinary week, and I will see you next week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.